sticks. But there we go. Anyway, so just to wrap things up briefly, a little subject that sort of popped into our minds this evening was as we were being nagged by our appliances, our domestic appliances. John left the fridge open rather longer than he should have, and it started beeping at him. And that sort of prompted me to reflect on my washing machine, that when it's finished, it just doesn't stop. It just keeps going on at you. And if I put something on my ceramic hob, or not ceramic hob, but induction hob that's not metallic, it beeps at you.
He's so
if
middle
I leave
class.
our fridge open, I think we've come to the conclusion that most domestic
How did I get involved in this?
Because you agreed with me. Don't pretend you didn't.
I really don't.
That most domestic appliances are probably female, because until you do what they say, they don't shut up. There, I said it. But they don't, though. They sit there. They just keep going on. And you think, oh God, all right, just stop.
Right. I want to stop this now. Mark is not a misogynist. Not a phrase that I think I'd ever say.
I absolutely adore women, the good and the bad,
including the ones that nag you
to close the door. The ones that not of course my current wife Claire. She would never do such a thing.
Isn't she called the lady?
No, she's my lovely wife. She's the lovely wife. My lovely wife Claire. She would never do such a thing.
Honestly,
but
we're about half a bottle of whiskey in, so I feel I've been corralled into his nightmare. Right. Do we note and Alexa notes and Siri notes that they use, almost all males want female voices to talk to them?
You had a male voice until I told you could have a female voice on your Alexa. And then Alexa piped up, I don't know what we said while we were talking, while one of the tracks was playing, but Alexa piped up and said something, didn't she?
I've got to say I did like Daniel, but that's a very different conversation.
Oh, did you?
Daniel was great.
Didn't John Elton? Elton
John.
John.
Sorry,
didn't Elton John
we are
write a song about Daniel? Is that perhaps the voice you had in your mind from your before I prompted you? You should really change your Alexa to a woman, and then you'd be much more likely to comply with the instructions given.
I want to be really clear. We're about 10 minutes away from home at the end of this thing, and we are running for the landing zone.
This is serious now. That the voice commands on fighter pilots, fighter jets. Systems are all female voices.
I didn't know that.
No, they are female voices.
Is that because men who are mostly fighter pilots, is that because men listen to women and basically ignore other blokes? Is that what's going on?
No.
What is that? If that's true, and I don't believe a word, but if that's true, why?
The rationale that's given is that female voices are higher pitch and therefore easier to hear over surrounding sounds,
like a missile coming at you.
Well, whatever. But
that sounds like bullshit.
I think
that sounds like bullshit.
It does sound like bullshit. I think it's an instinctive response to a female telling you what to do.
Let's do what we often do, which is jump out of the shallow into it. But I think
I like the shallow.
No.
I'm happy shallow.
Fucking live in the shallow. But I think it's interesting, and let's do it for a minute. I think if a bloke tells me what to do, like do that, like that, I will have.
No,
I think I've got a part of my brain that processes that may well be right, because after all, we're designed to. There's a mammoth. I'm not going to ignore it, but I'm going to challenge it. There's a sort of part of me that kind of goes, is there? Or is he taking the piss out of me? Is he going to make me look stupid? You know when we take the piss out of each other.
What you're saying is that if you're going to listen to a male voice, you have to respect it.
No, I think if I'm going to listen to a male voice, I'm going to have to analyse it, which we're not famous for. Wait, but if you're
You don't have to analyze a command. And I'm speaking from a military perspective here. You don't have to analyze a command from someone you respect.
But you don't know if you're going to respect them.
Well, I mean, listen.
And if you get the command from someone you don't know whether to respect them or not, you have to analyze it because you could die.
No, strictly speaking, in the military hierarchy. If you get a command from someone you don't know, you're obliged to obey that command.
But you wouldn't run the 5 people who you're responsible for their lives and your lives if you haven't even thought about whether you should respect what you're just about to be asked to do.
No, the strictly speaking, what you're supposed to. In theory, yes, but you step out of that.
And weigh it up.
Very carefully.
You don't say it, but you weigh it up.
But the whole idea of military training and going through exercise and so on is that you build up that rapport and that trust, and that's what's crucial.
But why would you build up the trust if you don't need it? Because you just follow orders.
No, because
you build it up because if you don't know, there is that doubt, and in fact, you're allowed that.
If
doubt.
someone fucks up, listen. It's not written in stone. You know that when you get a Rupert, okay, a Rupert.
Don't know what that means.
Rupert is a very young, inexperienced officer, okay, who's
as in Rupert
speaking.
Bear.
No, well, it's a Rupert, a posh kid, who's brought in and is nominally in charge.
But can be a complete dick.
It can be a complete
or brilliant,
or can be someone who's just inexperienced and wants to learn. This is why any young officer,
NCOs.
And I went through the ranks. I went through. I joined as a trooper, and I was commissioned. Any young officer worth his salt will look to his sergeant.
But that's what they're told. But the arrogant ones don't.
Well,
listen.
the arrogant ones don't, and the arrogant ones end up being your commanding
shots
officer
by their own side.
Anyway, let's
move on.
Putting all that aside, we're talking about how blindly we follow the commands of our wives. Purely because the cost of ignoring them is too high.
No, but I think there's a lovely thing in here, which is that we, if you hear a male voice from all these devices, there's a competitive element to us all. We kind of go, you're telling me, but I don't have to believe you and whatever.
But you'll take it from a woman.
If you, I think there's no. I think
you're making my point, really.
No, but I think, I'm not trying to fight your point. I think there's some incredibly intelligent psychology going on, and women are part of this network with Amazon and with Siri and all that. No, I think it's very interesting. We are being manipulated. There's no question. And if your wife or your partner asks you to do something, your female, physically they can't make you do it.
Emotionally, you jump straight to
it. And Siri and Amazon, if you've got female voices talking to you, are based on that, I think, because you go open that. What's actually funny is, of course, and my wife laughs at me, and I'm sure yours laugh, and most people listening to this, is when you issue a command, Siri, open the curtains, Siri, do this, do this. Am I the only one who finds that?
Looks like you haven't set up any smart home accessories. You can connect accessories.
Oh my!
There you go. He's being nagged by his Siri.
I'm just being told
as we speak
by Amazon as we speak. By
not Alexa.
As we speak. That was genuine. It's like, what the fuck?
So anyway,
I
tell you what. With Siri and Alexa, you get all the downside of having two women and none of the upside.
You get all the upside. You get them obeying your commands. They do what you.
Oh, you really think they're obeying your commands?
They do what you ask them to.
They
do what you ask them to do. Statistically, far more often than
it's like
your
having
real
a
partner.
wife and a lover and having no sex.
You've not had sex with Siri. Well, I have. Anyway,
okay.
I believe that might be the end of the episode.
That might be a good point at which to draw things to a close. So,